Welcome everybody, it's ESC Fan TV, and guess what? It's the start of the Eurovision 2021 National Final season. Yes, let's go! We can't wait to kick this off, and we are going to bring you so much content over the next 12 months here at ESC Fan TV, leading up to May and beyond. Make sure you click that like and subscribe buttons, and also comment. We do read all of your comments, good and bad, and we sometimes even respond. Tonight it's all about Albania. Albania have participated 16 times at Eurovision with 9 appearances. Last year they were due to be represented by Aralina with Shy or Reach for the Sky. Sadly didn't happen because of course Eurovision didn't happen. But this year they've chosen to go back to their national final selection. That's right, Festivali Kenges is their national final selection process. It's been running for years. In fact, this is the 59th edition. So this year though, there are some changes. Traditionally held over 3 days at the end of December. This year, they're actually holding all 3 days in quick succession. They'll take place on the 16th, the 17th and the 18th of December. Also, FiK59, as it's also known, it will not take place at its traditional location, the Congress Palace in Tirana, Albania. It will take place at the Square of Italy, outside. Yes, out in the open, because it's quite warm in Albania. Don't you just wish you could get a plane ticket right now? I know I do. Yes, so outside, the other major change, no orchestra. So yeah, I guess we're getting playback. First time in Albania. Night one, all 26, yes, 26 entries. There was 20 last year. We've got another 6 to enjoy this year, will be played. The second night, they're coming again, all 26, but in acoustic, unplugged versions. And then the third night, the juries, who are all Albanian, will choose their favourites, and they'll go through to the final on the 18th of December, and we will find out who's going to represent Albania at Eurovision next year. So in typical FiK form, we've decided to have this over 2 nights. So tonight we're going to give you 13 songs, and our panel are going to tell you their favourites. Shall we meet our panel? Let's meet our panel. So give them a wave, guys. We've got Tom. We've got Joe.
Hi, everyone.
We've got Phil and Michelle.
Hey.
We've got Danny.
Hello.
We've got Oben.
Kalinista.
And we've got Ian.
Good evening.
That's your panel. Bit of quick housekeeping. Make sure you click the like button. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Most importantly, ding a dong our bell. It means it's very important because we get to notify you when we go live, and you wouldn't want to miss an ESC Fan TV show. Got 3 this week. Don't miss any of them. Make sure you ding a dong our bell. Time to get on with the show. This is Group 1. Let's take a listen.
Që nuk fle vjen dhe gjumin matrason.
So you have 3 very good songs. You've got Vendi Im, which is translated as My Place by Ajin Poskar. Song 2 was Anxhela Peristeri with the song Karma, and she's a big fan favourite in Albania. Song 3, Inis Neziri with Peng, which translates as hostage. So let's talk to Tom first. Let's bring in my co-host. How are you, Tom?
I'm good, Stu. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I understand you're monitoring the chat room this evening.
I am. There are so many people in the chat room already. I've been putting your messages up as they're coming in, but good evening to Martin, to David, to Neil, to Nicholas, to Anita, to Donna, and to Mert as well, all of whom have said hello in the chat. Don't forget, if you want to express your views on the songs and everything this evening, leave us a message and we'll put it up on the screen and might even read it out as well.
So Tom, give us your thoughts on those 3 songs. Which were your favourites and why?
So My favourite was song number 1, which I can't remember the title of it. I've got Vadim running through my head, but my Albanians... Vendi Im, there we go. Which is a great, strong ballad, I think. It's an ideal start to it. I'm not entirely sure it will do very well because I'm rubbish at picking out these things, but a good, strong ballad to start off with. That sounds good. Special shout out to song number 2, which is Karma, because I just think that's quite bouncy. That should do well as well, shouldn't it, really? It should do.
It should do. She will do well. She's very popular. She has over 250,000 Instagram followers.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. I saw a few woos there. Exactly. And also, she's very popular in Greece. Very popular in Greece. Coming over to Oban. Give him a chance to take his mic off mute. She's very popular.
Good evening.
Good evening, Oban. She was in X Factor Greece. She's very popular. Did you like this song? And also, which of these 3 were your favourites?
Stuart, I really don't know about anything about her, but I know the hype around her. I just want to clear some things first. I think it's known that I am a huge fan of the Albanian national finals over the past years. You know, they are the unique country to my heart that gives me the only cultural orgasms year after year. So I thought I made some friends in the past, but I hope don't lose them this year because so far I am not really amused. I thought that Albanian would be doing better than this. But when it comes to this first group, yeah, for me, Karma, nothing special. It takes very long, 2.5 minutes to build up. And then there's very anticlimactic, I would say. My favorite would be definitely Davis and Hostage, Peng. And such a silky voice, such a, delight to listen and, lost yourself in just whatever story he's telling in Albanian language. We hardly follow anything about it, but we enjoy it. So definitely my favorite of first group is number 3.
It's a very beautiful emotional ballad, isn't it? Almost floating through the clouds is Dennis, with a wonderful guitar solo playing in there as well. Danny, nice to see you this evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Tell us about your favourites from Group 1.
So Group 1, my favourite is definitely Karma. People who know me will know that I love a bit of a Balkan instrument, bit of vocalization going on, and I feel like she hits all of that. So I'm a big fan of that song, actually. I quite like that it gets a bit of a bass line going on after the first chorus, and I think it really picks it up. So yeah, I like that one. I hope it does quite well. The first one, it sounds a bit like an entry from like Bosnia-Herzegovina about 10 years ago, I thought, the first time I heard it. So I wasn't massively into that one. And the third, what's the other one? Peng. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I wasn't convinced by his vocal, to be honest. So yeah, I think my favourite is definitely Karma.
I mean, I think she's going to do well. She's very popular in Albania, and she was last seen in FiK in 2001. So it's been quite a while. So yeah, I agree. It's funny coming back to Oban's point about how it builds. It does take a while to build. It almost starts off as a ballad, doesn't it? And it kind of builds into. Kind of builds up into almost, it puts me in mind of Azerbaijan's Cleopatra for this year. It kind of builds from that ballad into that type of kind of mysterious up-tempo number. But yeah, she's popular, and it's one of the most popular songs with the Albanians, so we'll have to see what happens. Joe, coming to you, which of these 3 were your favourites?
Of the 3 of them, probably Ajim, just sort of, yeah, it just edges. So effectively, Karma would have been my second. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like Karma to the point that I think she's a really good singer, and yeah, you're right, she will be popular. But for me, it sounded a bit samey, and it's like, yeah, here we go again. It's going to be another Janinda or something, especially if the staging looks really good on the night. Things it's like, yeah. It's, here we go again. I'm after something different from Albania this year, and I think out of the 3 of those, Ajim is probably the one it's going to be.
Thanks, Joe. Tom, what are the chat rooms saying? What are their favourite of these 3? And he's on mute.
Oh, damn it. I spend my life telling people to take themselves off mute. Anyway, Anita's favourite is Karma, thinking it might chance over time. Martin reckons 1 is okay, but 2 is met from him. David's favourite is Peng. Karma is second, with Bendy Im in last place. Donna agrees with Oban that Devis caught her attention more than the other 2. Meanwhile, Neil wants to know, do RTSH still insist on the singers and writers being Albanian and the lyrics being Albanian as well? Over to you, Stu.
You know, I expected me to answer that. Yes, is probably the safest answer, isn't it? Let's move on. Thanks for the question, Neil. Group 2. Let's take a listen. Three more good ones there. So do I even attempt to pronounce some of these names? Let's give it a try. So Enshi Nasufi with Nasoy, Era Rusi, who was in FiK58 last year with Zari Im, and Eric Lyoshi with Yor. Ian, coming to you. Which of these were Which of these 3 were your favourites?
I'm not going to attempt to say the names, but I think song 3 for me. They're 3 good songs. I would go with number 3 as being my favourite of them. Again, it's nice vocal. It's quite solidly, nicely put together song. Nice bass line on it as well. Similar to the first one, has a really, really nice melodic bass line running through it. Nice pop friendly radio from song 1. Yeah, it's nice. But it feels a bit dated, and some of the lyrics, there's some English stuff, and it's not. I don't think it quite works. Song 2 wasn't quite as keen on that one. I just found it a little bit odd in places. I think some of the reasons I didn't like Cleopatra this year is some of the reasons I don't like this one so much, but they're all pretty good. Actually, the standard overall's been pretty good. There's no real duffers in here.
I'd agree with you. Can I just say, though, when it comes to Era Rusi and Zari Im, drums! There has to be drums. That's what I think about that song. That's what I just think, wow, foot stomper, banger, here we go. Danny, which of these are your favourites?
Okay, so I always like the trash music. So Zari Im is definitely my favourite. Oh, am I still on?
Yeah.
Still on. Yeah. Zari Im is definitely my favourite. It's definitely one I can see myself dancing around like an idiot to. I think the first one, it's quite 60s kind of sounding, isn't it? Can you remember the Serbian one from 2011, Charaban? It reminded me of that one. But yeah, I quite like it. It's quite a nice modern sounding song. And then the third one, again, I agree with Ian. It's a nice modern sounding kind of radio friendly tune, but not that easy to dance to, so I'm not massively into it.
There you go. So let's come to Joe next. Joe, which of these were your 3? Which of these 3 were your favourites?
All of them. I love all 3 of those. First of all, thanks to Nicholas as well. Yay! My own song, Joe. Yay! Nice, but there you go. I do that out of the 3. That's probably the one I've least enjoyed. But Enshi is definitely my favourite. That reminds me a lot of dancing. So it's a little bit outdated, and it's definitely a disco bop, but it is fabulous, and I keep singing it all the time. I'm at work and and it's in my head because I've played it so many times. And then the other one, Era Rusi, I'm not even going to tell anyone what that song reminds me of because no one's gonna know. But seriously, it's one of those songs that sort of sticks in your head for a while and then it sort of disappears. So out of the 3 of them, definitely Enshi, I think.
You know that song? It kind of reminds me of something you get out of Melfest. I feel it's very Swedish or very Nordic.
Yes.
And I don't think it would be that surprising to hear someone like Agnes sing that. You know, it feels to me like that's come straight out of Agnes's song collection. Or I could see someone like Dua Lipa singing that, because I just kind of feel like it's that kind of a vibe. But I have to say, the Era Rusi song, oh my God, that song, that that is incredibly catchy. And can you imagine that in Euro Club at Eurovision? Michelle would be hitting that dance floor. There's no tomorrow. Nothing's stopping her going. She's there. She's there. Absolutely. And Joe, not Joe the person, Joe the song, sounds to me like Armenia 2018. Hello, Sevak. Hello, Cami. There you go. So, which were your favourites, Tom? What were the chat room's favourites?
So, Stu, in the chat room, I've been putting stuff up, but obviously Nicholas thinks that Jo has had a song dedicated to her this year. And Martin says, when will the wax shoulder look reach the shops? Interesting. In terms of that, Martin reckons that Era is excellent and overall in his top 3. David reckons they're 3 tough songs, but Era gets his vote as well. But all 3 top 3 favourites. And Donna reckons that the first one sounds very dated 80s to her. That's probably why I like it so much, to be fair.
I think me too. I think there's something quite quirky and honest about it, that we've heard it a million times before, but it's kind of cool in a weird kind of a way. And then there is that bit that goes every day, every night, and that's kind of brings it alive a bit. So hey, fingers crossed for this one, because I could dance to that too. Just saying. Let's move on. Group 3. Can't be getting through this in record time this evening. Group 3. Let's have a little listen. Okay, here goes nothing. Evi Recci with Tier, and Fatos Shabani with T, and Festina Meizini with, oh my God, Kushti di Dashkuri. Fuck. Phil and Michelle, which of these were your favourites?
Thick.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I like Fatos, but I've not seen a picture of him. He's got a pitting man bun, so he's now bottom of the list. Jesus.
No, I really didn't like that one.
I liked it.
I thought it sounded like someone who takes an acoustic guitar to a house party.
Oh, you don't know what you're on about.
Then plays the moody chords he's just learned and sings a song about his
It was lovely,
girlfriend.
and he whispered it, and it was all sort of sensual and nice. And then you look at him and think, oh, God, no.
Yeah.
And it spoils it.
My favourite was Evie Recci with...
That's a shock.
No, it was good. It was sort of like dark and a bit funky. It was really good. I really like that one. It's a bit different. It sort of stood out for me. It's my favourite of the whole lot.
Oh, God, unfortunately, I agree with Phil. That it was... I liked it. It was a bit unusual. It was a bit odd. We embraced the odd round our house. We liked it. Unfortunately, Man Bun is now 3rd, which puts Festina in 2nd. Who'd have thought that?
Well, see, I like that one, but it sounded like if we'd have covered this in like a retro revision from the late 60s, it would have fitted right in. It was a lovely song, but it was, really dated, but it was nice.
I put, who doesn't like a traditional guitar? And then I put, me. No, it's Evie for us. Evie's the winner.
But there is a thing about Fatos Shabani and that T. So it sounds very much Britpop, doesn't it? It does feel...
No, if he got his hair cut.
It sounds like someone who thinks he's Ed Sheeran.
It feels like something you'd hear in the charts if it were in English over
It
here,
does.
at least.
It does. I like the way he whispered his way sort of through it. There was something sort of sensual about it.
I'll stick pins in
You
your
wouldn't
head.
know sensual if it knocked you out.
Oh, wait.
Let's come across to Joe. Joe, which of these were your favourites?
I love Fatos, I have to say. When you say Britpop, I'm thinking more of like the Verve. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Instead of Bittersweet Symphony, you know, like at the very beginning, I'm sort of singing Bittersweet Symphony in my head, so love it.
Do you know, Joe, I've actually got I've got the Verve written down here on my crib sheet, and just to confirm, we haven't compared notes, have we?
No.
No, there you go.
Not at all. I'm joking there. I'm having a bit of a fit. Yeah, no, I just love it.
Do you want me to come back to you? Do you need to grab a drink, Joe?
You're all right. I'm done.
Okay. I think we're going to come to one or two of the others. Let's go to Ian, actually. Ian, which of these three were your favourites?
I misread my notes on this. I don't think I was talking about these three, but yeah, I did one with the Evie song. Something really nice in there. There's a very raw violin, or actually quite even possibly a viola right later on. Something you don't normally hear, and it's really nice to hear something like that. It just comes in, takes center stage in the song for a wee bit. It's really, really nice. Looking at my notes.
Just to clarify, you don't have any notes on this. I've put you on the spot deliberately.
I do have some. I actually did my homework on this. I actually listened to all the songs properly.
Because I'm a git like that, and sometimes I'll do stuff like that. Like I'm coming to Danny and Oba next, and they don't know they're talking about it either.
Fat House, I didn't really write much about that. It's a little bit, maybe a wee bit bland, but it's a nice song. And Festina's song, it builds up nicely, but I don't think it quite gels together as a piece. There's a few of them in this selection that they're a wee bit disjointed. They've had good ideas for songs and good ideas for arrangements, and they've put them in and they haven't quite gelled together. There's a couple of songs in here are a wee bit guilty of that. It's not a bad song, it just probably needs a wee bit of rework.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Albanian Eurovision songs. They all get reworked before they find their way to Eurovision. I mean, just look at Shy last year. I mean, it was a completely different song that found its way to the Eurovision CD, right? So, hey, let's see what happens. Danny, I know I haven't asked you to talk about these, but I'm going to come to you anyway because I know you love all things Albanian. Which of these three did you like the most?
Festina was definitely my favourite. I think her voice is fantastic. I can't remember what I thought about it. I thought Fatos, that was the one that I thought sounded like something from Festival de Canção. It sounded Portuguese, like a very, I don't know, wasn't...
It's funny, the whole Fado thing, and David's in the chat room, and he'll correct me, but Fado even, I found Denis Jerahu's Peng very much like Fado in influence, and it's very difficult to compare styles from different countries, but and you shouldn't really, but that's what I immediately went to when I heard that. I thought, I really like this. Where would I hear this? I'd hear this in a bar in Portugal, probably Lisbon, where I'm sitting there, you know, drinking something or other, maybe a beer, maybe a shot of something to drown my sorrows. And this will be playing and someone will be following me around the room with a guitar, you know. But I think Fatos Shabani's pretty good. Let's move on to Tom. Tom, what did you make of these three and which was your favourite? Because I know you're dying to talk about them.
Well, I really liked Evie's song. I quite liked that. I mean, the full studio version I thought was, based on the clip we've got in front of us, is not really a decent representation of it, but I do like the swing time music because that's something different and it kind of sticks out, which was good. And originally I thought to myself, is it a bit kind of like, you could almost imagine a big band arrangement, but it's not really that kind of song. The trouble is, I think the other two songs just sound a bit dated. You're right, because the second song, Thai, does sound Britpop, and you're right, it's verbish, but it's almost like that. I mean, basically, my notes have it down as like bad copycat Coldplay. Just something that's a bit depressing, and I don't really kind of go for it. Whereas I think that Festina has a bit more authenticity to it, and I quite like that one in terms of where it sits as almost like a traditional Balkan song. But yeah, song number 1 from this group gets my vote, I'm afraid, Stuart.
I do like Festina's song, actually, and especially the bit with the guitar, electric guitar, that kind of kicks in around 1 minute 35. That is pretty special. And you're right, there isn't a decent representation over 10 seconds. So you need to kind of go back and listen to that. And you can on RTSH's website, in fact on YouTube, you can listen to all of these in their entirety. And much like with Italy's national selection, they're often more than 3 minutes long, and they have to be shortened for Eurovision. So some are as long as nearly 4 minutes. But, you know, if you like the song, hey, that's a bonus, right? Festina's song's quite folky to me. It's got a mid-tempo beat. But I do really like Evi Recci's song. There is something about that. It's real kind of mid-tempo. You can click your fingers to it. It bounces along nicely.
But it's that 6/8 time signature that it's got that most of the others haven't. Which basically means it kind of swings itself along, which is really good. It's Festina with the folky one. Sounds like something you might have heard sort of like in probably the late 90s from one of the Balkan countries, I would have thought.
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds right to me. Right, let's move on to our final group of the evening. This is group 4, and we've got 4 songs in this one for you. Let's take a listen. There you go. There's the final 4 songs of the evening. That was Florent Abrashi with Girl, because I'm just going to do the translations now. Frank Karuni with Moron Bottom, which translates as They Look the World. Gigliola Haveriku with Ilir, which translates as Free. And finally, Georgi Kasanani with It Gives Me Life, because I am not prepared to try and pronounce that. Not after the last group. Let's go to Oban first of all. I think this is the strongest group for me. What did you make of these 4?
I mean, finally we get to listen to some real music. I mean, let me start from bottom and work my way up.
Are you talking about the song? Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, okay? So, Frank, I mean, why did you even bother? I mean, what was that? Like, were you like pooping while you writing that song? I don't even know. How did you come up with this song? And you thought it's a good idea, you should have your time of your life. The second, Florence, decent. Finally, we have some diversity within the song genres. A little bit rocky, a little bit like raspy vocals. I liked it. It's enjoyable. Not a winner, but maybe 7th, 8th place in final. Now let's talk business, people. Now, Yergi. I mean, you give me life, Yergi. I don't know how you pronounce your name. Your song give life to you. You give life to me. I mean, vocals. I mean, it feels like you feel the song you're singing for the first time throughout the songs we listened tonight. You are the only one feels like you're singing, you're feeling what you're singing. And last but not least,
Gigliola.
How do you say this name? Gigliola, Jigglypuff, whatever it is. Girl, you got style. The hair, the look, the pose, the choice, the vocals. You are one unique artist, and I think you are the only artist there for tonight's songs. So my definite winner, not just this group, but also tonight's songs that we listen, definitely goes to Jigglypuff.
Do you know, I know we've always got similar music styles and tastes open, because I think this is the best song of the bunch, certainly tonight. I think it's the most unique song in FiK this year. She has a phenomenal voice, and you can check her out on YouTube. She's done so many live shows. There's tons of them. But it's emotional, and she will certainly perform this well, no doubt in my mind. But we have other songs in there as well. Frank Caruni, you mentioned him. It's fun and quirky. Some will get it, some won't get it. I want to see the stage performance, because I have a funny feeling it's going to be on a par with Gina last year. And Gina's performance had fire, it had power to it. So I'm expecting something similar. But let's see. We're going to go to Ian next and get Ian's take on these four. Ian, what were your favourites here?
Well, as Owen was saying, this is a much more interesting set of songs. Quite a few folk have played safe with their arrangements and the way the songs are so far. Not these four. I'll do them in order. Florent, number one. It's nice. There's a kind of modern musical theatre feel about this. Kind of Dear Evan Hansen kind of feel. It's nice. It's a really nice song. I don't know if it'll do too well. It's probably a wee bit too gentle, slightly bland. But I really like the song. I think it's a song I'll come back to. Frank, this is fun. It's very different. There's a kind of spaghetti western kind of feel going on in the background there, kind of maybe Magnificent Seven. It's very different, and he's taking a chance on it. And it might work for him, it might not, but good on him for trying it. Too many people have played safe, I think, with this. He's not. It's quirky. It'll either do really well or fall flat on its face. I hope it doesn't fall flat on its face. Gigliola, nice and modern sound. I don't think the end quite matches up with the start of the song. It's one of these ones that's a wee bit disjointed. But yeah, and a great voice. And the last one, I'm not going to pronounce that name. It feels a bit like a demo. It doesn't feel like a finished song. It's very raw. The vocals, I'm not quite convinced about that, but it builds up to a much bigger song. I think this needs more production, more producing to it. It doesn't quite feel finished, but I think it has. Unfortunately, this is probably the version that's going to be used, but there's a bit of power in there, a bit big bombast sound in there that could be quite interesting. I do want to see this one live and see how it comes across.
I imagine it'll do better than we think. It's mean and moody, isn't it? And it's probably built for a live stage with the lighting effects and whatnot. Yeah. So
there's a power there that's quite. Yeah, it's not quite there in the track, but I think live might just get it.
It's a bit like Georgia from a few years ago that just didn't work on the CD, on the music stream services, and then you saw it on stage with that kind of breaking away of the stage and the volcano erupting, and everyone got it. And I've got a feeling we might see something quite similar with this, but let's see. Phil, Michelle, what did you make of these four?
Well, I thought the Florent song was nice enough. It was all right, but it wasn't special. It didn't really go anywhere for me. I don't know what you thought.
Well, there was nothing really wrong with it, but it was just a bit, it's like you'd heard it before, and it just didn't do anything for me.
The Frank, what is it? Frank Caruni?
Frank Caruni.
Yeah, I think that might be a dark horse. I thought the recorded performance lacked a little bit of oomph, but I think live it could do something sort of a little bit strange.
I thought it was bizarre, and I embrace the bizarre. I love it. In fact, I think this bloke is as mad as a box of frogs. I bloody love it.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. Who doesn't like a trumpet? It's like, come on. It's
Like a trumpet.
You can imagine him just going mad with it, really. Just taking it who knows where. And it'll be brilliant.
And with regards to Gigliola, I'm going to have to upset Oban because I thought this sounded like every other female ballad from God knows when. I mean, if you put all the female ballads in a bag, shook it and tipped it out, this is what you get. It was sort of Eurovision ballad by numbers for me.
I put down, oh goody, a moody ballad. And then I put, it's been at least 10 minutes since I've heard a moody ballad from FiK. But then it was like, we went back to the 90s with a wah wah. And then at that point, I just put, ah! Because I just wanted it to stop.
And as for the last song, I thought, he started off and I thought it was Lee Marvin singing I Was Born Under a Wandering Star. And it just sort of gradually went up the octaves, but it didn't really work for me. It was a bit odd.
I thought, blimey, Serhat's turned up at the beginning. I thought, blimey, has he found some money from somewhere? And then by the end of it, I thought Justin Hawking had turned up. It's like, what's going on here? He's about 10 people in one. He's going for the record of, I can start this low, I got it high, in 3 minutes. Nut job, rubbish.
Except it was 4 minutes, but we get the point.
Oh.
Thank you. Tom, what did you make of these four? Which was your favourites?
Well, do you know what, Stu? We're going to sum it up in a soundbite. 1 and 3, yay from me. 2 and 4, snore and ball. Basically, I thought 1 was amazing. I loved the anthemic feel of it. I thought it suited it really well. I think it will go far. Again, number 3, I can't pronounce the girl's name, but basically, again, I had a nice fight. But the second and the fourth one, particularly the second one, I know people are saying, it could go well with a nice big orchestral sound and things like that. Michelle's just trying to kind of shut her mouth. I obviously shocked her with it. But number 2, to be honest, I did find it a bit of a snooze fest from start to finish. And yes, okay, it might go okay with a nice big orchestral sound, but I agree with some of the people in the chat who basically say it's all a bit dated.
There you have it. So look, that's the first 13 songs. We are going to do this again on Saturday evening, same time, almost the same place, certainly on YouTube, but there'll be obviously a different link. Make sure you join us live at 9 p.m. Central European time. Before we go, though, we're going to find out who our panel have voted for. So we asked them to give the traditional Eurovision votes of 12 down to 1 point, and we combine them all with the power of an online scoreboard that everybody else uses everywhere else. And we've come up with our winner. So let's find out who has won. So there we go. Quick rundown, I think, of the panel. Just very quickly, who do you give your 12 points to? Let's find out. Let's start with Ian.
My 12 points went to Peng, but it was only just to get ahead of Florence song.
Very good.
Yeah,
Phil and Michelle, you're on mute, but who did you give your 12 points to?
Well, mine went to Evie Refuge Chair.
I can't remember. I wanted to give it to Frank, but then I'd started voting and realised I'd missed him out and just put him in next.
Very good. Danny, who did you give your 12 to?
Hi, this is Leeds calling. Our 12 points go to Jari Im.
Jari Im, there you go.
Thanks for the great show.
Era Rusi. Oban, Cyprus calling. Who did you give your 12 to?
Stuart, to be honest, I don't remember either, but I hope I gave it to Jigglypuff. The Jigglypuff lady definitely made up my mind for tonight's songs.
Jigglypuff gets it for you. Joe, who did you give your 12 to?
To Nesoi, so that was Enshi.
Enshi. Yeah. Song 4, wasn't it? Tom, who did you give your 12 to?
My 12 went to Florent with Girl.
Florent with Girl. Okay, right. I gave my 12 to, really no surprise based on what I said, Gigliola Haveriku with Ilir. Same as Open. Let's find out overall what the scores came in as. So, hopefully you can see the scoreboard. So we're now going to find out who has won our votes tonight. And the winner of FiK59 Part 1 is... Oh, blimey. There's only 4 points in between first and fourth. So Era Rusi with Zari Im, My Fire wins it. With NC Nasufi with Nasoi, probably mispronounced that terribly, with same. Third, Gigliola Haveriku with Free. And fourth, Evi Ricci with Tier. So really, really close. Quite honestly, any of those top 4 could have won it, really, couldn't they? Let's have a little listen to Era Rusi again. There you go. So Era Rusi takes it. So there you go. We'll see what happens in the final. Tom, before we say goodbye, what is the latest in the chat room?
Latest in the chat room, Donna wants to see Frank with an orchestra. Nicholas is asking why Oban has a toothbrush in his hand. And Martin thinks it does look like a toothbrush. No idea what was going on there. Donna agreed with me that the first and the third were best. What is it? What is it, Oban?
It is a toothbrush.
It is a toothbrush. I suppose if it looks like a toothbrush, and yeah, I wouldn't want to clean your teeth after you put it there.
It's not the only place he puts it.
Martin thinks Frank is the strongest. And Neil says that FiK is all about performance, and I'm waiting to see them on stage.
Won't be long. 16th, 17th of 18th of December. Probably live on YouTube. Certainly live on RTSH's website. Guys, we're back on Saturday at the same time, 9 p.m. Central European time. Actually, we're back on Sunday as well, Tom, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Have people been glued to Twitter? There has been some exciting news dropping on the hour, every hour. It's almost like they've taken hints off of our own Twitter channel when we were doing some best ever stuff, Stu, with the way they've been dropping their Melfest artists. And we're going to be discussing our reaction to them live here on Sunday night. Stay tuned.
That's right. All that's left to say is thanks to everyone in the chat room. If you're watching this on catch up, please give us a like or dislike if you don't like it, but do comment, tell us what you think about it. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, but more importantly than that, make sure you click the bell button. That's right, ding a dong our bell. We love it when you do that. Make sure you join us across social media. In fact, you don't have to watch this on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. You watch it on Twitter now, on Periscope. So there's plenty of places you can catch up with us. We appreciate you. We really do. And we will see you on Saturday. I'd just like to say a big thanks to Ian for joining us this evening.
Cheers. It's been great. Lovely show again.
Big thanks to Oban, yawning like he wants to go to bed.
Good evening, all the way from Cyprus to the rest of the world. Good night.
Thanks to Danny for joining us once again. Great to see you, Danny.
Thank you very much, Stu. Thanks for having me.
Big thanks to Phil and Michelle. Hopefully we'll see you at the weekend.
Yeah,
thank you. Bye.
Can't wait, can they? You can tell. Thanks, Joe.
See you Saturday, folks. Thank you.
And thank you, Tom.
Cheers, Stu. See you Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday. Bye all. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.